fit, formidable, and fantastic.
Hey everyone, it's Cory McCarthy and welcome to a new episode. So it has resurfaced, this whole fake Natty drama here on YouTube, and it's getting heated. Videos are popping up from not just Vegan Gains, but also Jason Blaha, and even the Golden One. So I figured I'd chime in on this popular topic, but in my own style and evidence-based approach. For those who don't know, which likely means you've been living under a YouTube rock, or you're simply new to the fitness community, a fake natty is someone who is chemically augmented via performance-enhancing substances, but straight up lie about their use, often to sell you products. It's utterly reprehensible for so many reasons. Now, just to clarify, I don't give a fuck if someone uses or if they just avoid admitting to use for legal reasons, but to blatantly, outright lie about it, especially to sell you shit, that's disgusting. Now, sometimes the lie is so smack-in-your-face obvious that it's actually comedic. Like when heavyweight IFBB pros pull that shit.
100% natural. Hard work. That's it. 100% natural. Hard work.
Or when a behemoth like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson
claims he tried them when he was a late teen, but hasn't touched them since.
Now, we all know better than to buy that, I'd hope, but just in case there was any doubt, this is what retired professional wrestler Billy Graham has to say about The Rock.
And I see The Rock really jacked up on steroids like I've never seen it before. Currently, going into WrestleMania, is this 29, going into WrestleMania 29, just days away now doing this interview with you. And I see him jacked up on steroids because I know when someone's on steroids because superstar Billy Graham is taking steroids. And I enjoy taking steroids and would have never had this physique without the use of anabolic steroids. And so it just disheartens me to see people like The Rock not have to pee in the cup.
But I suppose it isn't always so obvious to everyone. Other times, many might buy into the lie, and many often do because to them it seems believable. Or they want to believe, and douchebags take advantage of that want. But there are signs. Bear in mind, they aren't guarantees, but they are good signs. Now, obviously, the only way to know for sure is with an admission of use or a failed drug test.
Like in the case of fitness model Rob Riches, who tested positive in 2013 for a banned stimulant but pleads ignorance. Or the claimed natural bodybuilder Aaron Curtis, who also tested positive for a banned stimulant in 2011 and received a 2-year ban from both the International Natural Bodybuilding Association and Australasian Natural Bodybuilding.
So, 2 cases of claimed natties testing positive for banned stimulants. Aaron, 2 years before Rob. Anyhow, enough sidetracking, let's get into a couple accepted signs and why they're recognized as reliable. The first sign is unusually high fat-free mass index.
Based on a study done on 157 male athletes, of which 83 were on steroids while 74 were not, as well as 20 Mr. American winners, I emphasize winners, from the pre-steroid era of 1939 to 1959, the well-defined upper limit of someone who does not use steroids is a fat-free mass index of 25.
While many of the steroid users from the study easily exceeded 25, and even some exceeded 30, according to that study, despite the findings being regarded as preliminary, they feel that the FFMI may represent a useful initial measure to screen for possible steroid abuse, especially in athletic situations where an individual may attempt to deny such behavior. Fancy that. The case is in point of this video. And I will link a calculator in the description that will allow you to plug in variables about a given person and calculate their subsequent FFMI. To give you one example right off,
based on his own bodybuilding.com statistics, claimed lifetime natural Mike O'Hearn has an FFMI of 29.9, or a significant 4.9 points over the accepted limit for naturals.
Of course, assuming Mike is not exaggerating with his stats, that is. But if all of that is actually accurate, there's no fucking way Mike O'Hearn is natural, and thus he is being deceptive. Another telltale sign is muscular fullness when dry and ultra lean, what is called the Photoshop look. As I explained with science in my previous video about the dangers of being ripped, hormones take a system-wide crash in non-enhanced lifters below 8% body fat, and that's in men. As I also explained in my previous video, cortisol also rises significantly. Thus, anyone who is not enhanced would be smaller, flatter, and frankly unimpressive. Damn near starved looking, in fact, when contest lean.
Much like this fella, whoever he is. I found him on Google search. Sorry, guy, for not knowing your name.
As opposed to?
Someone like the aforementioned Mike O'Hearn, who is 46 years old and looks like this stage lean.
See the painfully obvious difference?
Here, let's look at them side by side, just to drive this point home.
So those are a couple good signs. Now let's explore testing methods, especially given that some accused like C.T. Fletcher and Simeon Panda have gone to great lengths in respective videos to attempt to clear their names. Both men utilized forms of testing in order to do this.
There are 3 levels of testing most commonly performed. Basic urine test, which cannot separate natural from synthetic and can be spoiled by contaminants. Radioimmunoassays, which are performed using blood samples. While more accurate than urine testing, this method still cannot differentiate natural from synthetic. Finally, carbon isotope ratio mass spectrometry, which shines as the most reliable option of these 3, can actually differentiate synthetic presence from naturally occurring, which also appears to be most efficient all around, significantly reducing sample processing and analysis time, thus increasing testing capacity.
Note that I didn't mention hair follicle testing or the polygraph.
Hair follicle tests aren't even typically used to test for synthetic hormones, but rather typical recreational drugs. And polygraph testing accuracy is admittedly controversial, with very few good studies that validate the ability of polygraph procedures to detect deception, according to the American Psychological Association.
Thus, what the ever-loving fuck was Simeon Panda thinking? This next clip was taken from his recent damage control video.
So I did 2 things this weekend. I did a polygraph test, also known as a lie detector test. So the test cost me well over £600, which is about $1,000. I'm telling you the price of the test because I want you guys to know the levels I've gone to help you guys, basically, to give you some encouragement, to give you someone to look to say, yes, I know for certain he's natural. Now, I didn't want to do a simple urine test. I've done urine tests before. They don't have enough length of detection window. And I need, for what I'm trying to show you guys, I need it to be as extensive as possible. I was told that blood tests still, again, like urine, won't show a full length of time, you know? So I was advised that a hair follicle test would be the best method of detecting steroids.
I can tell you what he was possibly thinking. Unless he is truly that ignorant, he likely wanted to seem as sincere and diligent as possible to deceive his followers and customers even further in order to maintain his cash cow and protect his status and lifestyle. And it's okay to want to protect your lifestyle and your livelihood, but to do so via dishonesty, it's reprehensible. Now that being said, Simeon's product is overpriced, overgeneralized shit, if I do say so myself. Hey, that's my opinion. This following clip was extracted from Vegan Gains' recent video, Simeon Panda, Worst of the Fitness Industry, which I will link in the description below. Likely you've all seen it already, but it's truly fantastic actually. It's one of his best to date, and I hear it is banned in the UK. Well, let's see how long it takes for this video to get banned in places.
And of course, Simeon Panda sells a cookie-cutter workout program that is not customized for anyone's particular needs, because that would take actual effort and would show that he has no idea of what he's talking about. And because I could not find a single torrent, I was forced to buy his mass gain program, which costs $55 US. He doesn't have any sort of recommendations for calories, protein intake, he's missing portion sizes for a lot of his foods, and he doesn't go into supplementation in any kind of detail, like how much to take of anything and when. Aren't those sort of important things to know if you're trying to build mass? And then you realize he's a lazy fuck who just wants to make quick money, and he even says in his own program, this is the nutrition plan that he follows.
Now, I've not purchased his program, and thanks to Richard for taking a hit on that one, but seriously, Simeon, are you actually charging people approximately $55 US to fucking follow your own personal workouts and meal plans, without a shred of consideration for your customers' unique needs, bodies, weights, metabolism, etc.? Are you that lazy and greedy, or do you simply not understand sport nutrition? In either case, why should anyone support you, or more specifically, your business? I've demonstrated in previous videos, backed by actual papers, that overall calorie needs and the protein and carbs and fat that fall under that caloric umbrella need to be calculated based on a person's weight, preferably their lean weight, but also tweaked for their metabolism and their daily activity levels.
And according to your interview at Simply Shredded, you weigh 230 pounds. Your average male weighs 191 pounds soaking wet.
And if they were to consume your diet verbatim, they'd get fat, simply put. Again, any drug use aside, I'm just talking about body stats here, and not even getting into the health impacts of your dietary choices, which Richard has already done a great job of criticizing. How many of your followers and customers do you honestly think weigh in at your stats? Think about that. If they did, they'd likely not be your customers.
For instance, I seriously doubt someone like your bro, Ulisses, is clawing to buy your programs.
Most of your customers are likely naive teens and 20-somethings that want to look like you and therefore don't possess anywhere near your stats. And that training volume, seriously, that would wreck your average person's CNS. That's central nervous system, in case you don't know.
Not even getting into the fact that once weekly frequency is not optimal for hypertrophy gains.
And boom, that's science. Familiarize yourself. If you want to consider yourself a respectable professional, that is. And all of that for $55 US? What a steal! And I don't mean a steal for your customers, Simeon. How can you sleep at night? And don't give me "you're inspiring people" shit. While you do seem to be inspiring people, you are doing so by setting unrealistic goals for the average, unenhanced guy to live up to.
And they can get the same shit that you're selling for free if they simply check out your interviews, like the Simply Shredded piece I will link in the description.
That makes this whole thing even that much more of a ripoff, but perhaps they have read your interview or interviews, but wouldn't know what they're actually getting until they shelled out the cash. So yeah, thanks again to Richard for giving everyone a peek. Anyhow, not to single you out here, there are plenty of others who claim natural while possessing questionable stats and engage in similar business.
Like the 247-pound muscular at an absurdly lean 4% body fat percentage Mike O'Hearn that I previously discussed, who is currently 46 years old, mind you.
Need I say more? Red flags, anyone? Here's a hint. Refer back to my previous videos about hormone decline as we age. Also see my previous videos on the dangers of maintaining very low body fat percentages, especially if you do not take exogenous hormones. Anyhow, you all get the gist. I could spend all day covering the multitude of suspicious figures making a killing off the ignorant masses in the fitness community. But these two specifically will look you right in the eyes and claim lifetime natural. Remember, if it seems outrageous, ludicrous, and absurd, it very likely is. And with that, I will play you the famous fitness model Christian Boving's clip from the 2008 documentary Bigger, Stronger, and Faster that got him fired from his contract with Muscle Tech. Something to always keep in mind.
I started training with weights when I was 14. I started taking steroids when I was 16.
So you're advertising a supplement. So a guy like me goes and looks in the magazine and I see Christian Boving and I'm like, wow, man, I want to look like that guy. So I go and take hydroxycut or some supplement because I think that I'm going to look like you. But what I don't know is that you were taking steroids. Do you have any problem with that?
That's a double-edged sword, my friend. How to answer this? If somebody looks at an ad with me in it and says, well, Christian Boving takes hydroxycut, which I did, and I do, that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't take something else. And if they choose to believe that that's the only thing I'm taking to look like that, then so be it. They should be smarter.
Now, I want to add something to this video now that this is all said and done. I am not trying to discourage you, but rather to educate, to prevent swindling and misinformation, to promote realism. Even as a natural, you can still look fantastic, head-turning even. You just need to work hard, eat right, sleep well, be consistent, and keep your body fat percentage at or just above 8%, which is still incredibly lean, but where you can also still be full and strong as well with healthy hormones.
Here's a picture of my friend Ike, who I have known since 2009, 6 years and counting. He is a local model here in New York City. He is also drug-free. While I cannot tell you his body fat percentage with precision, going by this particular photo shoot, I'd have to say it's 8 to 10% range.
No, he is not a vegan, but that isn't the point that I'm trying to make here. I'm just trying to uplift your motivation that may have already taken a hit given the harsh realities I've investigated earlier in this video. Basically to close on a more inspirational note. Anyhow, I hope you all have enjoyed and learned something from this video, and if you have, please like and share it to get that message out there. I think it's a message that really needs to spread like wildfire. Also, please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And please leave some comments below. I'd love further discussion, whether you agree or disagree. I like all sorts of exchanges. Just, let's keep it mature and intelligent there. Anyway, with that, I will see you all around next time, my friends.